Hey guys, what's up? It's Jonathan, and we're doing it again. After nearly a year now, the Shattered Cowl's been doing great. It's been doing a lot better than any of us ever anticipated. I mean, everyone on set knew that my hopes were for it to just get 10,000 views, and currently we stand on nearly 52,000, so yeah. A lot of people thought that we had a lot of money to deal with this film, and they thought that we were professionals, and when they came to comment on the video, they were like, why aren't you guys using real equipment? Why aren't you guys using cranes and tripods and stuff like that? But people don't realise that everything that we did in that film was mostly the lowest budget we could go to. I mean, we paid for no locations on that film, which is kind of mesmerising when you think about some of the places that we went. We were in a club at one point, we were in a massive studio in Media City, which, if you guys don't know what Media City is, it's like the biggest television and film studio in Greater Manchester. So the fact that we even got there was mind-blowing to begin with. As far as equipment goes, yeah, that's one thing that did elude the production. Lack of tripods did lead to a lot of shaky shots, which, you know, to people complaining, I completely understand. Looking back on it now, I'm very disappointed with the fact that I tried to do these extremely difficult shots as opposed to just simplified everything and put it on a pair of sticks. But I think that's amazing about the last production. We tried to do a lot more than we could do, and it shows that we are dedicated to making something so grand and different to everything else that's out there at the moment. So that brings me to the next protocol, which is Batman Terror of Arkham. For you guys who haven't been following this project, this is going to be one of the biggest scaled attempted productions on any fan film platform ever. To give you a brief indication of what the story entails, I am going to try and give away nothing in form of a synopsis. So it's been 2 years since the battle with Prometheus, and Batman's noticed that he needs to upgrade his arsenal, his mentality, his physicality, and that's where we start off in Terror of Arkham. Now, without giving too much away, I am going to say that the opening scene of this production is huge, to say the least. It takes place in a museum, and it involves window smashing, smoke grenades, the lot. And I've done plenty and plenty of storyboarding for this. Some of the things that we're coming up with, the way that Batman is seen in this opening is very reminiscent of the Arkham games and the animated series combined. That's all I'm going to say about the opening scene. But people are asking, why are we setting it in Arkham Asylum? Some of the best stories are in confined locations, and we thought that with Arkham Asylum, granted it'd be difficult to maintain and actually produce, and that we're using characters in this that many people, first of all, haven't even seen to the full potential. We're revisiting a few things from the Shattered Cowl. Enough said about that one. But also the story of how everything flows together in this is extremely fluid. It doesn't, there aren't any sharp edges with the story. We've gone through 4 drafts of the script, and we had a cast read through late last year of the second draft of the script. No one had seen it up until that point, and when we finished reading through it, everyone was just like, this is just so much better than the Shattered Cowl. Not many people know that the Shattered Cowl was just meant to be a student project. It was just a bit of fun that me and my friends were having in my first year of college, and it folded into something a lot different, so it was kind of not meant to be that great in the first place. So the fact that we got to where we have is pretty incredible. I digress. That's Terror of Arkham. So like I said, we're using characters that have never been done before. Well, a couple that when they were last done on screen before, they were butchered. Batman and Robin, oh god. But in all seriousness, the way that we use these characters in this film is extremely interesting, and it can lead to a whole lot of possibility in the future, depending on how well this film does. We're also going for a more ground storyline where we're not going off into 20 different sub-stories. There are 3 or 4 sub-stories, but the way it's done folds into the main story, and that's what's interesting about it. It's not just everyone's different thing, it's everyone's different thing, and it flows back together, which it means that the characters we're using end up going into a classic mythos that we know and love, and also folds into the greater scheme of things. Well, you'll see about that in the future. So let's go back to why we're trying to build some funding for this film. As many of you know who have followed our Instagram, Facebook and YouTube page, we are already undergoing principal photography for Terror of Arkham. We've filmed around 4 or 5 scenes to the film. We're not rushing into things because we know that if we rush like we did with Shattered Cowl, that we're just going to end up putting out something that we're going to not necessarily appreciate when it's released. And I think that's the true aim here, to build something that we're not only proud of, that you guys are proud of as well, and that's why we want this funding. So a lot of the scenes that we filmed for Terror of Arkham already are very simplistic scenes that don't require a lot of funding and set design. Now we have filmed a few other things to go outside and inside of the asylum and integrate into certain areas. However, the rest of the funding that we're asking for will go to the asylum itself. We have 3 different locations, but it isn't just locations as well. I mean, we're going to have lots of extras on set to build up the inmates of Arkham Asylum. Was that a spoiler? The money would also go to costumes for the extras, props, other different pieces to go on set. You know, we just want to build this world where people can just completely lose themselves in and go, oh my god, that reminds me so much of the real Batman. Our inspirations for this are very much Isma Hawke, Kevin Porter at Bat in the Sun, and Batman Chronicles was absolutely beautiful. We've spoken to all 3 of those productions actually. We speak to Kevin on a regular basis. He gave us permission to use a picture of him as Thomas Wayne in the Shattered Cowl, which is pretty cool. And as far as Isma Hawke go, they helped us promote the Shattered Cowl with sharing our trailers and everything, and those guys are just so cool. Tony and Jeremy like a lot of the stuff that I put up on Instagram, and it's just nice to see that the support from them is still there and they understand what we're going through, because they did the same thing with Nightwing. So you guys are starting to be able to build a picture about what we're getting out of this. Now let's talk about what you can get out of this. Okay, so on our Indiegogo page we have got like 6-7 different perks for different price ranges, starting from as low as £1 all the way up to 300. And some of the perks that we've got in there are pretty damn awesome. So for £1 you'd get a shout out on our Facebook page, which has got over 1,500 likes. So we wanted to thank you guys personally when the fundraiser is finished for anyone who does donate £1. And you would have individual posts dedicated to you, thanking you so much. Now we're moving up. So for £5 you would get to go in the producers section in the credits, which is pretty cool because when you're watching the film, we're hopefully having it premiered, we would get to see all the people who put their money and time into making this production a reality. And it's a special appreciation because obviously £5 is quite a lot of money for just anything, and for you guys sharing that with us, that is absolutely mind-blowing, and thanks. Now we're moving on to £20, which is entitled The Butler. I don't know why, but for £20 you would get the previous perks, which obviously the name of the credits is a special one there, and after the production's finished, I think it was August in 2018, you would receive a signed poster from the entire cast. I think it's just a really cool thing to have for a little indie production anyway. I mean, hopefully the people that I'm working with are going to be big names in the future. I can tell you that we've got a lot of talent on this project, and you never know, maybe I'll sell that poster in a few years time. Now we're getting to the good stuff. For £50 you would get a t-shirt, an IMDb credit under a producer role. Now as far as what goes on these t-shirts, that very much depends on you. We're going to be providing artwork with anyone who donates over £50, and you guys will get to choose whatever goes on your t-shirt. We're probably going to have these made in graphic t-shirts, which can range from having something small in the middle all the way up to having the whole thing filled, which would be really cool. You know, we really want people to get what they're paying for here. And obviously an IMDb credit, I mean, who doesn't want an IMDb credit? Now moving up to £100. What £100 would get you would obviously all the previous perks prior to this, a 30-minute Skype call with the cast and crew, and a signed prop from the production. And the £200 where it starts to get really fun. We've got a £40 Batman goodie bag where we're going to start putting in comics, t-shirts, plushies, pop Funkos, maybe even some Lego. We've got a list of things that we're going to start putting together into those boxes that can actually add up to that amount, where you get value for money, not one thing. What's really cool about this perk too is that you get an early screening of the film. Now if you live in the UK, we're hopefully going to invite you to the premiere depending on where it is, but outside of the UK we're going to probably stream it live. which is pretty cool because then we're going to have a discussion afterwards, maybe even a Q&A where we can later upload that onto the YouTube channel and you guys can feature in that. Don't worry, for £200 you also get everything else that we've mentioned in this video, which leads up to 8 perks, which is pretty amazing. Now comes the big one, £300. So what's £300 going to get you? So everything that I've been rambling on about for the last 10 minutes you're going to get. Whatever I've been mentioning, other perks, it's already yours. You've got it. It's fine. But what's really cool about this is you're going to get assigned production scripts from everyone involved. These scripts are going to be the ones that are used on set by myself, the director. They're probably going to have little sketches in here and there because that's what I do on set. I do little storyboards and everything. But as well as that, you're going to get to feature in the film. And people have already asked me, like, what does that even mean? So say if you live in the UK, you can probably get an extras part in the film, which would be really cool, maybe even a talking role depending on how confident you are on the camera. But for those people who are donating outside of the UK, you can have your name in the background or something, you can have it on a doctor's chart, you can like doctor, your name. You can have it in the museum like I discussed at the beginning where you're going to have reserved seats, you can have a chair reserved for you that no one sits in the entire night. Maybe even as Batman's in the asylum, you can have your name on a door to say that you're a prisoner of the madhouse. So for £300 you get 10 perks, which going back to the first perk all the way to this perk is pretty cool. Now I think I've been rambling on enough about this. Let's just show you guys the Indiegogo trailer.
I see your red door and I want it painted black. I see a line of cars and they're all painted black. I see people turn their heads and quickly look away.
I just want to say once again, thank you guys for checking out this video. Thanks for checking out the Indiegogo page. Share it with your friends and family, and if you can, donate. Thanks.